fast forward any come our channel so hasi AG Politics Avenue. Political source training because making headlines. Onya and yajembre na edimi exumo. Na yebo ebraying sema. Eye black boxer nyamichade ye kuhun plane crashing AC adanse boasem. Expert ifri amanoni aba. Na me no kasei omu busua omu eye nhwehwemu. Na the seaport ema eye plane no etito foma etimi claiming 8 life kofa total blackout eba omangana mu ene mpanyfo transe asemi omu eye mu hwehwemu be stress at this point in time yamangwa nsem ehwene ko ane de eba
because we hear that investigations into crashes like this like we've observed here take a long time and I think this expert said maybe up to a year.
A year, yeah.
We are told that we should expect a report within 30 days. I don't know what they are going to report, but you see, these are technical matters, and I don't want to really to wade into them. What I want to say is that we already know that there are certain things that we have to do as a country. I think a simple one is that we know that we need more aircrafts, so that we can have a rigorous maintenance regime. When you have a lot of them, then you can take some of them out of commission and maintain them as needs to be. So we need more aircraft, and especially those that are tooled to do the VIP work. I know from what I've heard from experts like Kenna Abuaje, we need more VIP, more aircraft. If we're going to continue to have our Air Force, ferry around our celebrities and our VIPs, then we need more aircraft. I also think that one of the things that we are finding out is that there is a need for a unified national emergency operation center, or a system that unifies all our emergency responses, under one command when there is an emergency like we've seen, a disaster like we've seen, so that all the response units like NADMO, Fire Service, Social Welfare, Ministry of Health, Ambulance Service, when there is a disaster, there should be a way to coordinate, and then even the local assemblies. We saw what happened when the crash happened, and citizens who thought they were doing their duty as citizens to help out ended up maybe contaminating the site and causing problems for forensic investigations. So we need a holistic national emergency response system, and I'm sure that it will be one of the things that will come out of the investigations. Lastly, I think citizen awareness. I think what happened in what the place called, is it Akuffo? Shows us that we need to educate our citizens. Crash sites, accident sites. I'm told that in some of our areas, in some areas in this country, when there's an accident, people go in there looking for the watches and the wallets, and
Yeah, I've seen one on the motorway. There was a long vehicle, and there were bottles of beer, and the people they just rushed and grabbed the bottles and were drinking just right there and then.
So and also this obsession with our mobile phones. Sometimes instead of helping out, we are trying to capture, and so that we can go on TikTok So we really need some education. I've said here before, I think that when we were in school, we had civics, citizen education. I think we need to do something, it relates to what we were talking about earlier. We are educating students for life, not just to pass exams. We need to know, our citizens have to know about what obligations you have as a citizen, the duties as a citizen. So crash sites and things like that need to be part of that educational system. Then media awareness. I think that our media men and women, I think that sometimes there is a competition to be the
first to break the news.
First to break the news and first to reach an angle that the other one hasn't reached. I think we all need education, because what we found out with this crash is that we're not only dealing with planes and mechanical things, and you're also dealing with families, children, mothers, fathers, uncles, who are affected directly. And we all need to be empathetic, and we all need to share in their grief when these things happen. And so the media also needs to come on board and do their part. Overall, I think that this sad incident served, in my view, to bring us all together as a nation, to realize that there are certain things we all have to do for the betterment of our country. I'm hoping that we will patiently wait for the report, and when the report comes out, we will be able to implement what the report says, so that we'll have a better Air Force, and then our country will be better off going forward.
And Doc, the point that the Prof made on the Zoom had to do with how such investigations take a long time, and we appear to have given them more or less like a 30-day window. I mean, at what point must we balance our desire to want answers to allowing the body perhaps to do the work that they must do thoroughly, especially when, such incidents gives us the opportunity to look beyond the basic things to have also long-term reforms come through as well.
Joseph, I am glad that we have got expert opinion in this regard. And of course, you see, what this government should realize is that these are lives of gallant heroes of our country. Honorable Mutala, may his soul rest in perfect peace, was somebody that I communicated with 2 days before this incident. And he's someone that I respect so much. And we were talking about issues about how to do with galamsey, using botany and all that, using some research technology from the Chinese Academy of Sciences. And so, Joseph, there's a lot of conspiracy theory out there foiling what happened. But I believe that the government communication should be in sync with what experts are saying. Now, what I am questioning here, my main concern is that the aircraft, as we know, is a Z9 helicopter manufactured by a Chinese aerospace company. My question is, why aren't the Chinese involved in this investigation? Why are you bringing the Americans? China has equally got advanced technology and a robust investigative body as the Americans. That is my main question, because I quite remember...
That's the part of the statement that says that the board may also invite other relevant experts and institutions, both local and international.
Yes, yes, but my point is that you have stated categorically, and the main subjects in there are the American Air Force. Right, they are not the manufacturers of this helicopter.
Okay.
So I think that they should have engaged the Chinese brought the Chinese manufacturers. For a fact, do you know that the Ghana Air Force Base has got some Chinese aeronautic engineers servicing their aircrafts? Do you know that?
I'm not aware of that.
Yes, I can tell you that. You know, the jets, the fighter jets they use, the trainer jets, for every, I think there's a particular hours that the jet flies, and they have to bring the manufacturers to service it.
Yeah.
So if we are in this, we have this relationship with the manufacturers, and we have a good diplomatic relationship with China, why don't we get the Chinese involved in this case? Why the Americans? But I am not undermining the competencies of the Americans in the first place. But I believe that if the Chinese were involved, it would have put some more light into what really happened, because it was their aircraft, and I'm sure they have the technology to be able to decode the what do you call it, black box. But on a serious note, Joseph, the Ghana Air Force needs some retooling. I think that it's unfair for some people to try and put blame and even question the competence of those pilots. It is uncalled for. These are highly trained and highly skilled pilots, right? The Ghana Air Force, because the military cannot come out to speak about their problems, sometimes we seated here should be able to voice out, because we have relatives in there. We have friends in there, and we know what they tell us. The Ghana Air Force today, as at now, you know that they have multiple helicopters grounded because of the sanctions placed on Russia. They fly the MiG, MiG helicopter or so. Now they cannot purchase spare parts to use on these helicopters that are grounded because of the sanctions between Russia and America, and the whole war between the Cold War between the two. So I believe that they should come out and let us know what is really happening, right? I believe that, you know, the Ghana Police Service also at a particular point in time had helicopters procured for them. I call them coffin copters, because you cannot procure a 1970s helicopter and come and give to our Ghana Police Service to use under the SWA administration. And it was just for the optics. I'm sure they flew during the independence celebration in the Volta region, held in the Volta region, and then from then it was grounded. Today, you should ask the Ghana Police Service, where are those helicopters? Why aren't they flying them? And you see, sometimes politicians who enjoy the sole sourcing form of procurement process have been complicit in this act, because you go and procure things at exorbitant cost to the state and come and give us what we do not deserve when it comes to value for money audit. So I believe that if we're able to retool the Ghana Air Force and even the Ghana Armed Forces, it will go a long way in helping mitigate these issues. Okay. The politics of whether or not we should have a presidential jet has been a debate that people...
Whether we should have a new one.
A new one, yes. A new private jet. I believe that the presidency is a serious office, the leader of the country. And we all ought to do things in a manner in which we can be able to protect that office, the integrity of that office. And so, whether or not the NDC and the MPP are deciding to play politics as to whether there should be a new presidential jet or not, we, members of the Movement for Change, believe that the presidency is a serious business and that we ought to protect the president. And I want to see some form of procurement processes now, going forward, leading into the procurement of a new private presidential jet for our president. Okay. Because the one currently there I hear is not airworthy. Okay. And if we allow our president to fly in that coffin, then I mean, we don't want to have any bad news going forward. Okay. So I believe that the investigation period set by this committee, I don't know what mathematics they have done to come to such a corollary, but I believe that they should communicate further with us to tell us why they have given a 30-day ultimatum for a report to be made public. Okay. And we want to see absolute transparency in this regard, okay, so that we can be able to give our heroes a befitting farewell after the investigation.
Honorable, I realize you had some reaction to some of the points that Doc made earlier.
Yeah, not necessarily a reaction, but this whole accident that occurred, people are still grieving, families are still in pain, and so we will need to be very, very circumspect about the things we say. If there are people out there who are accusing some people in there, we need to desist from it. I don't think anybody will set out to go and kill himself. The pilots also care about their lives and their families. And so such comments and commentary should not be encouraged and tolerated at all around this time. The issue of maybe not allowing the Chinese to lead the investigation and we bringing in the Americans to come and do it. Just like asking maybe a judge to go and sit in his own case in a court. They manufactured the aircraft that you rightly said. Assuming it is a technical problem that resulted in this, and you ask them to be at the forefront of the investigation, are we very certain that they'll put their bare facts out as they are? And that is why it will be prudent that you get another body. And like you rightly pointed out, the statement explicitly stated that they will invite other people to come and assist in whatever investigation they need to do. I can only commend the government and the ministry for this decision that they have taken. Ghanaians want to see a closure. They want to have a closure to this particular issue. I have heard some experts that have come on your show to run some commentaries about this particular whole issue. But now that an investigative board has been set up, we want to allow them to do their work. I am not an expert. I don't have any expertise at all when it comes to aviation and its operations. So let's allow those who have the expertise to tell us exactly what transpired. Except to say that I must not come across as accusing anybody. Prof mentioned, or Doc mentioned a point that is very, very key, our response to emergency situations. Now, if you listen to the time the military put a statement out on that fateful day, that helicopter has left their radar, they cannot find it and all that. The time we got information that crash had taken place, if we're really very proactive, the civilians that moved in to try to assist and all those things could have been prevented. It would have been possible for them to move in very quickly, ward off the whole place, and then they use a better way of rescuing whatever remains that were available, so that all the pictures or that we saw and all those things could have been avoided. But I don't know why we delayed and allowed civilians to move in there. But I think that is something we all need to drum and talk about more. Okay. This penchant, anytime there's an accident, the first thing people do is to pull out their mobile phones and they want to video, they want to record, they want to be the first to break the news. I think it's something that we need to be very careful about. People's emotions are involved, people's relatives are involved, and so we need to be very careful. Okay. This day you see even a fuel truck involved in an accident, and people moving there, they want to come and collect the fuel, and they don't look at the other side of it. That in case of a spark, any fire, or anything, everybody else could be consumed in the flame. And so we need to be very, very careful. I am a bit not too sure. The expert, the professor I spoke to from America is saying that we will need about a year to do this particular investigation. Per the statement that was issued by the acting Minister of Defense, they've been given a 30 days period to do it. We are not too sure the aspect of it that they will do within the 30 days. But as it may, all we want to know, we want to see is a closure, that this is what exactly happened. That way they call the black box, is that the name? Yeah. The black box. I'm sure they will be able to decode, we will get to know exactly what transpired on board, so that all the speculations and all the things that people are saying, at least we can put everything to rest. Okay. We will continue to admonish the family members to remain strong. I think this is the biggest air disaster that this country has suffered ever in our history. It has never happened before, and we don't pray that this ever happens to this country. Whatever we need to do to make sure that doesn't happen, we need to do it. The debate of the presidential jet, it will rage on forever and ever. And I will not accuse him when he blames NDC and NPP for the politics we have done with this plane issue. Go and check back from our history, from the date of Kutu Achiampo. Go and check. when he bought, what I think it was called the Gulf, whatever the name, I've forgotten the name. The things that were said in this country. When George Rollins came to the scene, he bought a Fokker, the things that were said. When he came to President Akuffo, he came to President Mills and Mahama. And so we can't continue to do this. Maybe what we have not averted our minds to is the cost of a by-election, especially a presidential by-election. It is not a joke. The cost to the state is far more than the cost of any airplane you can buy. This Akotia by-election that they are going to do today, go and check out the money. Because political parties, we don't open our books and tell exactly, we don't even get to know. Because if I move my house and I go to Akotia, who will get to know how much money eventually I will spend in Akotia? Who will know how much you will spend, even as a media house and all that? So I'm saying that nothing is too expensive than protecting the lives of Ghanaians, especially in the embodiment of our nation, the presidency. I think that we need to do everything possible to protect it. Ghana, a beautiful country, a great country. We have gold, we have diamond, we have oil, we have everything that you need to go to develop. Is it too much for us to have a jet that our president can fly with across the place?
So
no.
What's your stance? That
you see,
you support the procurement because you are in parliament, and I'm sure this debate has been in parliament.
I think I've made a point quite clear that it is not too much for us. If we are going to make the argument that until we finish building the last classroom.
We ain't some who team course watching also. Mamma was so jemre. That's so bad any dia dumbi edomania. Umia in shame na yen sign and some or quite strong.